Hi, this is Lisa Somerville for Divinity Designs. Today I'm going to share with you how to create this card using the Peaceful Poinsettia Christmas Card Kit. First, I'm going to share with you the products that you receive in the Peaceful Poinsettia Christmas Card Kit. We have the Merry Mosaics Card Kit die set, the Peaceful Poinsettias dies, the Vintage Label and Flourish Card Kit die set, the Christmas June stamp set, the Flourish embossing folder, and a package of Wanna Scrap white pearls. Not included in this card kit are white and red cardstock and red ink. Here are the die sets. You want to be sure to die cut and emboss your dies following the directions for your die cutting machine. Embossing the dies brings out the detail of the dies. Anytime you see two shades of purple on the packaging or our web images, that indicates you should emboss the dies. The stamp set Christmas Tunes is a set of 5 stamps. When stamping your images, if you find you don't get a nice crisp image, use a sanding block and go back and forth over the stamp. This will remove any residue or film left on the stamp. Simply brush that away, ink your stamp, and stamp onto your cardstock. The Flourishes embossing folder leaves this beautiful embossed image into your cardstock when you follow the embossing directions for your die cutting machine. And then to embellish your poinsettias, we have the Wanna Scrap self-adhesive pearls. We do have some optional add-on products that are not included in this kit. We have the Rectangles die set, a set of 8 dies, the matting rectangle die, which measures 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. It will mat a 4 by 5 1/4 rectangle. The A2 portrait card base with layer die set. This is a set of 2 dies. This die will die cut and score your cardstock to create an A2 size card base that's 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. Your layer die is 4 by 5 1/4. Here's the card base and the layer. The matting rectangle is used to add a pop of color between the layer and the base card. Now I'm going to share with you just how easy it is to create your card using the Peaceful Poinsettia Christmas Card Kit. Stamp or heat emboss your image onto cardstock. Center the Vintage Label die over the stamped image. Add removable tape to hold that die in place. Then die cut and emboss following the directions for your die cutting machine. Embossing the die will bring out the detail of the die. I've gone ahead and die cut the images I'm going to need from cardstock. We have the Peaceful Poinsettia cut from red and white cardstock, the Merry Mosaics cut from white cardstock, and the Flourish cut from white cardstock. I also have the stamped image that was die cut and embossed using the Vintage Label die, the card base, the embossed panel using the Flourishes embossing folder. First, I embossed this die using the embossing folder, and then die cut using the layer die from the A2 portrait card base with layer die set. Again, this is an optional add-on that's not included in the kit. If you're going to hand cut your layer is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. For my card, I'm also going to be using the matting rectangle as I like to add the pop of color behind the layer panel and the base card. Again, the matting rectangle is an add-on for this kit. Again, I'm using the A2 portrait card base, so my paper's already scored for me. I'm going to use a bone folder for a nice crisp score. Adhere your embossed layer to the matting rectangle if you're using that. If not, go ahead and adhere it to the base card. Again, you can see how by adding the matting rectangle, it adds a pop of color between the base card and the layering panel. We're going to set that aside while we create the poinsettias. The Merry Mosaics are designed to fit over the Peaceful Poinsettia die cut. Add glue to the center, and then add the Merry Mosaic as your overlay. You can then add glue to the white Peaceful Poinsettia and then add the flower in place. Repeat that with the remaining poinsettia die cuts. Add the die cut centers. And then the pearls. Then we can set those aside. Now we're going to add that stamped and die cut image to the card base. I'm going to be adding mine with dimensionals. Adhere to the card base. Then we're going to add the flourish and the poinsettias. If needed, you can die cut in more than one flourish. I'd like to die cut and emboss one, and then I'm just going to cut it apart and use what I need. Decide where you're going to add the poinsettias to your card. You can adhere them using glue, score tape, or dimensionals. I'm going to adhere mine to the card base using score tape. Next, we're going to add the die cut and embossed flourishes to your card. I'm going to adhere these using glue. Here's the Peaceful Poinsettia Christmas card without any of the additional add-ons. And here's the card using the matting rectangle and A2 portrait card base with layer die set as my add-ons.